Welcome to the Invisible India podcast. I'm Jessica Kumar. In 2006, I first came to India for work and basically never looked back. My journey took me through learning Hindi, living in multiple parts of India, और कुछ सालों के बाद मुझे अपना जीवन साथी मिला. The Invisible India podcast isn't just a place where I share about being married to an Indian, being a foreigner in India, the language learning process, and cross-cultural parenting. But it is a platform to highlight the lesser-known aspects of Indian culture by featuring stereotype-breaking Indians making waves in society. So चलिए, headphone लगा के सुनिए हमारे साथ. Namaste sab log, happy holidays. Welcome to the Invisible India podcast. Today I'm going to do something a little different. I've had a lot of questions lately, and I've kind of categorized them together in a few different categories. Today I want to talk about the things I love about India and some of the things which I've noticed are really incredible about India in comparison to the West and how those two places compare, traditions, Indian culture, etc., etc. So, बहुत लोग पूछते हैं इंडिया के बारे में कि खाना कैसे पसंद करते हैं, क्या पसंद करते हैं, बिहार में कहाँ घूमें, क्या पसंद करते हैं बिहार के बारे में. So I wanted to talk about these things, what the different cultural aspects that I really enjoy and want to highlight. Before we get into that, I want to chat a little bit about two incredible businesses that I really want to highlight. Both of these are fair trade businesses in northern India. I have seen them in action, and they are incredible, changing people's lives through high quality employment, treating their employees with incredible dignity, and also creating incredible product. The first one is Zyada. Zyada is Ziyada. Zyada is a handicrafts company located in Bihar. They create all kinds of beautiful fabric materials, and they have their holiday collection out right now. I would highly recommend you go check it out. They have everything from like aprons to masks, place settings, beautiful, beautiful fabrics. They're all created 100% in India. They focus specifically on employing vulnerable women who are in Bihar and people who want to make their lives better. I've seen them in action for many years and have interacted with their employees. Incredible, incredible business. You can also get 10% off by using the code InvisibleIndia10 between now and the end of 2021. So go to my website on invisibleindiapodcast.com/offers. You'll see Zyada's website there, or you can go directly to their website, zyada.org. The second one I want to talk to you about is India Art. India Art is also a good friend of ours, and they are also employing people in impoverished communities in North India by making mostly wooden handicrafts. So the one specific thing I want to talk about is their sloth ornament. They have these gorgeous sloth ornaments that are like these little wooden Christmas ornaments, and they're so cute. I have several. Make sure to check my Instagram for the pictures of these really cute ornaments. You can also get a discount on India Art. Find them on Amazon. Go to my page, invisibleindiapodcast.com/offers, and you will see the link to the sloth ornament. You can get a discount on that when you buy it on Amazon through my website. I've also posted a gorgeous video of how these are made from the streets of Varanasi, a very simple wood shop to Varanasi, to your Christmas tree in the West. So feel free, please see these absolutely adorable ornaments and feel free to check those out before the end of the year. All right, let's get on to the show. So one of the most common questions that I happen to get from people is, what's your favorite Indian food and place to eat it? Honestly, मैं घर में खाना बहुत पसंद करती हूँ. मुझे बाहर का खाना ज़्यादा नहीं पसंद है. People ask me all the time, oh, do you like to eat street food? You do this and that and the other thing. To be completely honest, I personally feel like it's not worth the risk for me to eat street food. just because I'm not traveling here. I'm not like, wanting to experience every single corner of India. Like I kind of did that in the first days. But I think if you're traveling to India and you want to see, the street food life, the little, and taste everything and do it, totally do it. But for me, I've kind of like tasted all the things and I would rather just make street food at my house. So it's my favorite Indian food. I always talk about this. I love mooli paratha. It's my very favorite. It's like a radish, white radish, grated and stuffed inside a paratha with green chilies. And it also would be much better if you put some mixed veg or mango pickle along with it. Oh, I'm like literally salivating thinking about it. So that's my answers. And prefer mooli paratha in my own house. Bas ho gaya. Another question, how much have you explored Bihar? To be honest with you, I feel like I've not explored Bihar as much as I want to explore Bihar. I've explored a lot of Patna. I've explored a lot of Muzaffarpur. I've explored other places like, Bodh Gaya, Rajgir a little bit. But outside of that, I've only been to a couple of other places. I've not really gotten to go in all the interiors. And part of that is just because, we are living here. I don't have a lot of like time off to go explore and go see different places. So ये तो कमी है, मैं ज़्यादा घूम नहीं सकती हूँ. Mostly like Valmiki Nagar gaye. I went to Valmiki Nagar Tiger Reserve, which is absolutely gorgeous. I'm not going to lie, it is tough to get to. It's a rough trip by cars, but just be sure you have a very good shocks in your vehicle and a driver that knows where they're going. It should be fine. What do I miss about Bihar when in the U.S.? I mean, obviously the people. I'm not going to lie and say that, Bihar is the glistening, paradise, like Norway or Sweden or Finland or something. I'm not going to, it's the cleanest place on earth and all that. Of course it's not. But I do have to say that the good things about Bihar are the incredible people. Of course, we already talked about food. Food is amazing. The amount of fruit that you get, I feel like people don't talk about this. The fruits you get in Bengal, Bihar, parts of South India is unbelievable. Mango, lychee, ananas, pineapple. It's so unbelievably tasty, fragrant, just juicy fruits. I mean, I've missed that a lot. लेकिन मुझे वहाँ के लोग बहुत मिस करती हूँ. बिहार के लोग बहुत अच्छे होते हैं. And, people get a bad rap. And I just want to say that has not been my experience at all. Being married into a Bihari family for the last almost 12 years and then living in Bihar for 5 years going on now, that's not been my experience. So I think we need to re-examine that stereotype. What attracted me to Indian culture and traditions? Really, to be honest, the family closeness was something that was very interesting and very beautiful to me. And just how hospitable people are. I know people say this over and over again. Westerners say, बार-बार बोलते हैं कि family values बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छा होता है, joint family system अच्छा होता है. So it's like, the family system and the way that people are so open and kind of invite you into their family is really the number one thing that I really love. In the U.S. specifically and in other Western countries, we can be very standoffish in a sense, like very to ourselves. We're very overly scheduled, overly busy, that we have this, that, the other thing always going on. Something's always happening, and we don't have time to spend with people. And I really love that in many places in India, that it still kind of has those traditional values of, आइए घर पे आइए, बैठ के खाना खिलाएंगे, चाय पिलाएंगे. It's just a very beautiful kind of openness that people have and curiosity. What cultural shocks do I feel? Okay, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Is the things that shocked me when I first came was like, oh wow, there's a cow in the street, or oh wow, the traffic. Those are things that shock you at first. But now after, 15 years, going on 16 years in India, I would say that sometimes I'm still shocked by, patriarchal culture and how people try to I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say pretend it's not real, but some people can be very patriarchal and really try to kind of put women in their place. And not everyone is like this, of course, but sometimes we have all experienced this. And it's one of the shocks that I feel of I know in a certain thing that I'm an expert in, I'll be talking about that and then be, judged or mansplained or cut out by other people. Because they're a man, they think that they know more than me, even though I know more than them in this certain area. So that's kind of a frustrating thing. But it does happen, and those things always shock me when it occurs. If you like our show and are interested in starting your own podcast, let's talk about Anchor. This is what I use. It's free, and there are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. You can even add any song from Spotify directly to your episodes. The possibilities are endless with what you can create, whether it's music analysis, your own show, or something the world's never heard before. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and pretty much anywhere you want your podcast to be. And you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Go ahead and download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. All right, back to the show. How many languages do you know, and how fluent are you in each of those? So I would say that I am really fluent in English and Hindi, and other languages that I can understand would be a lot of the languages in Bihar. Of course, I don't not understand all of them fluently, nor can I converse in them fluently, but I can pick up some Bhojpuri, especially Maghai as well. That's pretty, living in Bihar, you get pretty exposed to that. And then my in-laws, my mother-in-law speaks a minority language called Angika, which is spoken around Bhagalpur in Bihar. And so I can understand when she's talking to someone, or when she when she reminisces about her village, she starts going into more Angika, and they use a lot of checho. So instead of like he or he, they will use like checho, all this. And so it's really interesting to me when she's like, she gets into this totally different personality when she starts speaking in her native language. Other than that, we speak Hindi at home. So it's very interesting. I also can understand some Punjabi, Gujarati, and most North Indian languages, which are similar, Marathi a little bit. I can understand what's happening. Nepali as well, Bengali. To a certain extent, I can follow a conversation in that. Do I celebrate Indian holidays, and what is my favorite holiday? Yes, we celebrate a lot of the regional holidays in Bihar. For example, we just finished Dussehra, which is, called so many different things across India. And that's one of the most amazing things about India, right, is that there are different holidays which are celebrated, and it looks different everywhere you go. So I would say that's something that is not as prevalent in a place like Canada or the US in North America, where you just travel a short distance and it's a different language, a different culture, different festivals, different clothes, different language. And that's one of the amazing things about India. So, of course, living in Bihar, we have Durga Puja, Dussehra is quite big. And Diwali is there, but it's not as important as, Durga Puja and Dussehra and Chhath Puja. So Chhath Puja is the big festival. It's, Surya Bhagwan, about the sun, worshipping the sun. I have not done the fasting in Chhath Puja, but oftentimes I will do some meditation that day and just like give thanks to God for the creation of the world and for the sun and all these things. So now I have 2 small children. So a lot of times we're doing the holidays that are fun for the kids. So of course Diwali is fantastic, and all of the long puja type of things. My mother-in-law, that's more her department, whereas I'm trying to do more things with the children and keeping them engaged and helping them to enjoy the festivals. So, and of course, my husband also enjoys festivals. He's more concerned about the food for most of these things. We're very thankful that wherever we are, we can celebrate Indian festivals. How are the kids understanding the languages? My oldest child, who's 7, he was born in the US, and he has a very strong identity of being an American. Although physically he looks very Indian. You look at him and you would not think that he has a Caucasian mother. You would look at him and think this is an Indian boy. However, he has a real strong identity as an American. He has done a very good job of speaking Hindi. He's learned quite well. He sees that it's an important skill and that he needs to utilize that. So even if we're in the US or if we're in somewhere in Europe or Canada, wherever, he realizes this is something I need to retain and I don't want to forget this or lose it. I'm very proud of him for continuing to keep that up and to learn. And then my daughter, who is 4, she was born in India. She doesn't quite have a sense of this cultural identity yet, but I would say her first language was Hindi. She spoke very beautiful, clear Hindi. And then something happened when we went to the US for a visit. She just stopped speaking. It was the strangest thing. And of course, then we went back to India and she started building it up. But she really regressed a lot during that period. And it was unfortunate because she was very strong in Hindi. Both of my kids are learning, reading and writing in Hindi as well, because that's taught in the school in India. So they're doing well in that aspect. And we work very hard to try and help them to keep that up and to learn, because we realize it's very important. What do I think is different about Indian culture versus American culture? I would say to summarize as much as my observations have been is the difference between individualistic culture and communal culture. So communal culture is one where people are really thinking about each other. They acknowledge the fact that we're all interconnected. My actions affect your actions. Your actions affect me. We're all dependent and codependent, interdependent rather, on each other. In the West, we like to cling so hard to our individualism that we feel as if we're not connected at all. And that's actually a lie. So it's not even a true statement. We just like to kind of fake our way through this individualism that your actions don't affect me, don't matter to anybody, and I can do whatever I want without harming anyone else, which is not actually true. So in some ways, I like to be more connected. I'd like to just acknowledge that we're more connected and interconnected than we pretend to be. And then, of course, there's some times where I like to embrace my American side and just pretend like no one bothers me and nothing bothers me, and it's just me in my own little world. But yeah, I would say there's basically the main differences would be the individualistic culture versus communal. And of course, people say that, yes, urban India is becoming more individualistic with, multinational companies coming in, people having more demanding work schedules, people moving around for work and higher paying opportunities, not living in a joint family. Of course, that's changing, but largely, most of the country is still very communally focused. Thanks so much for listening in to the Ask Me Anything and reflections on Indian culture. I hope there was something in there that was relatable to you. Be sure to check out my website for the holiday deals that I mentioned, India Art and Zyada Handicrafts. Make sure to use the code InvisibleIndia10 on Zyada to get 10% off and then get a discount as well on India Art. Both of these deals can be found on InvisibleIndiaPodcast.com/offers. Thanks, everyone. Happy holidays.